Welcome back to Half-Baked Reactions. I'm Bailey, and today we are watching My Hero Academia, the final season, well, season 8 trailer. So it's just come out. I had no idea it was coming out. I was literally on my YouTube channel uploading my newest One Punch Man reaction video. That's a whole other story, but I'm basically forcing my anime-hating friend to watch Attack on Titan and One Punch Man. Go give it a watch if you want to see. But in the meantime, I literally just saw this pop up on my feed somehow, and the trailer was out. Now, I'm a huge MHA fan. I've literally got a statue of Deku holding up my iPhone right now, because I didn't have enough time to go and get my camera set up. So I've got my iPhone up there with a microphone plugged in, and Deku is holding my iPhone camera right now. You just can't see it. So, big MHA fan. I'm super pumped for this trailer. Let's just get into it. Let's see the reaction. Let's see what's going to happen. Alright, let's see what you got for us. Alright, so it's a floating high school in UA. So Deku's still fighting Shigaraki. Oh my god. The wind pressure must be so insane. All Might spark. No, it hasn't faded. Come on. And he's still smiling. What is that? That's like a cursed energy technique right there. Where did All For One get that quirk? No, hope is never... That's like an edge shot ability. And ice too? Where does he have these powers from? He knows. Young All For One. Why is he all yellow? Is that just his quirk overloading? He looks so young there. The animation's so good. Gear shift. Let's go, Midoriya. That's a flashback. The will of one for all. Let's go. Okay, so that was my reaction. The trailer was very short, so honestly there's not much that happened, but actually a lot that happened at the same time. Let's go through quickly, frame by frame, because that was freaking awesome. So obviously this is like a direct continuation from where we left off with Season 7, because a few months ago when I think Season 7 stopped coming out with episodes, it was at end of last year now, I honestly don't know, they were still spinning around, like in that tornado underneath the floating fortress or the floating prison above UA. And it was really annoying for me watching it, because it was like, for 2 episodes, we knew that Deku was currently fighting Shigaraki, but it kept cutting away to other people. And yes, I did want to see Uraraka's story with everything that was going on, like with Toga and everything. That was beautifully done. And yes, I wanted to see not Deku. I wanted to see All Might versus All For One. But the way they just cut it last time, it was like, we know Deku's fighting. Can we see the fight? But we're going to finally get that continued. We're going to get part 2 on All For One versus... All For One versus All Might. I don't think anybody else is involved in the fight. Actually, I'm not going to spoil it. But since I have read the manga, I know kind of what's going to happen. So I'm not going to say anything like that. But those are the two big fights with some other things happening. And that means I actually don't know what they're really going to do in terms of episode structure. In my eyes, and I've read the manga, I think they could definitely get away with 13 episodes. I hope it's not going to be a really short final season, like 7-8 episodes. And also we don't want it to be super long, like 20 episodes. Unless we have this massive epilogue that even Horikoshi didn't even have. So that would be cool, but I feel like 13 episodes is where it will be. This shot right here, All Might's really going through it. And is it me? Or does he look younger? Now, I know I could honestly be like talking off the top of my head. Nothing I say will have spoilers in terms of manga or anything, I assure you. I'm literally going to base it off this trailer, even though I have read the manga. But he looks younger. And I actually don't know why. But it looks cool. And this shot, I don't even know if this was in the manga. If it is, I can't remember it, but this looks entirely new. Like the light hitting him from behind and the rest of his body cast in shadow. It's literally cinema. Oh, I hope they show this in the cinema because it's worthy of it. And then we have this shot here of All Might. It's like he's wearing the War Machine armor from Iron Man. but it's just taken such a toll on his body. It's a really cool representation of it, because normally we see Iron Man, War Machine, all these kind of guys put on a suit, they're completely fine, and that's it. But in reality, like, there's all these explainer videos like, oh, Iron Man's body would explode under these pressures doing these moves. We're actually kind of seeing it here with All Might, like the toll that a normal person's body, normal for All Might because he's a lot worse than normal because of all his injuries, but still, a normal person, what they'd have to go through to wield this kind of power is crazy, and they're showing it amazingly. Like this shot right here where he's flying away, I cannot remember reading this in the manga again, so they might just be adding in things that haven't been there before, and it looks visually incredible, because this part here, right here, those faces, it literally looks like something out of Jujutsu Kaisen. I think Mahito, you know Mahito, the guy with like the cursed, like the souls? You probably know better than I do, but it literally looks like one of Mahito's cursed technique or cursed energy powers that's All Might's face in. I don't know how All For One is basically got this up his sleeve, who he's stolen this ability from, and who he's combined for it. Maybe a cloning quirk, maybe like a mud quirk. I don't know, but it looks sick. And All Might's still smiling, like he's literally still smiling throughout. Like his body's broken, he's bleeding everywhere, but he's still got that smile. That's crazy. Even though the captions, like the subtitles say, smiles lost, hope abandoned, guy is still smiling, that's cool. And these, what are these? It's like some kind of flying fish. I assume maybe they're like drones that All Might controls, or maybe it's part of his arsenal, because they look like the kind of wingtips that were on the back of his armored suit. So maybe they're either security things to like get an ultrasonic like perception on where All Might is in the surroundings, or maybe they're just kamikaze bombers, and they'll go straight into All For One, because it doesn't look like they have weaponry aside from those wings, and I guess they could be used as slashers, so maybe they'll be used to like literally slash through All For One, but we'll see. But seriously, they literally resemble Edgeshot's ones so much, like the way Edgeshot uses his powers and goes like super tiny, like to a needle thread. That's kind of what this looks like. So maybe that's where he's drawn some inspiration for the all quirk armor, is what I call it. I know it's called Armored All Might, or the UA armor, because it combines all of it. I just call it the all quirk every time I see it, because it's just a combination of all quirk. And defeat isn't an option. He's literally getting frozen right now. Who did All For One steal an ice quirk from? It wasn't Todoroki. It wasn't like any of his siblings, so it was someone else. And I feel like he did not use any of these quirks in the battle with Endeavor and Hawks in the last one. And look, he might have just been hiding it, but that was a life and death battle. So to think he still had these up his sleeves, or maybe he picked it up on the way here, but still, it's just crazy to think how many quirks he's actually got right now. And this guy, this normal human being, is handling it, which is crazy. Oh, so yeah, in this scene, I didn't even have time to read all of the subtitles before. But if Shigaraki's saying that you should help All Might, then he has that connection with All For One, I guess. Just like Izuku knew that All Might was fighting All For One, they're both able to tell the condition that each other are in, and he's trying to bait him into doing something. But I think Izuku's smart enough now to realize he's going to let All Might handle it, because he nearly lost control when he saw how hurt Bakugo was, and Lemillion had to calm him down, and he was like, Deku, Izuku, chill. And then he did like the chest tapping thing, then he was all good again. Then he did like a quintuple smash, wherever he pulled that from, which was awesome. So I think this bait won't work on Izuku. This shot of young All For One, he looks so innocent here, but we all know he's a despicable person. But the way they show him to us, he doesn't look like that masked mechanical menace we saw for the first time all those years ago. And then All Might had to United States of smash him. But Deku is really going at it here. This is insane. This is so cool. So in this one, I don't know how many episodes are long, because this is obviously like a season trailer. So this probably encompasses this bit alone, like the first 2 or 3 episodes. But All Might he's gotten even more bruised and battered than the last shot we just saw of him in the trailer. So this is insane. And Izuku, look at this. He's properly using gear shift again. So gear shift takes a huge toll on the body. So like that's why it's super rare. And if you don't know, again, no spoilers, but at the end of season 7, the past user whose quirk this was, he was basically telling Deku not to use it because it'll all be over in like 5-10 minutes. And the reason he was saying that is just because of the toll it took on Deku's body to be able to push himself to that limit. Like, he doesn't have a regeneration quirk or a super regeneration quirk. It's just a normal human body, which still is nowhere near what All Might's body was able to do. And then he's pushing it, like hyperactivating it more like, with a gear shift. And I feel like a really good way to use it, aside from using it on your body and pushing it to those extremes as well, would be to use it on the surroundings, because we saw in the past, the previous user, although was a lot weaker, that quirk, he was able to control like bullets and speed them up or slow them down, or literally use a pencil, Joker style, and control that with gear shift to fly. So if Deku was smart amidst their chaos, like going between buildings and whatever, he could literally, this is mine, again, no spoilers, this is what I would love to see in a fight. I would love to see him like destroy the glass or on a lamppost, hit it with gear shift, send it accelerating flying towards Shigaraki, and use those terrain advantage, like features to his advantage. And then hit him with a quintuple or pentaple, whatever again. And this final shot, it's crazy. I feel like they've lowered the brightness a little bit in this scene. I can kind of tell with the particle effects of the lightning. But the way, like, I've never watched Dragon Ball, so this reference, I don't know if this is accurate and I'm sorry, but the clips I've seen of, like, Goku with his hair, like, Super Saiyan, like, flown up due to all of the energy, I feel like this is exactly like it right now with Deku. Like, his hair standing on edge because of all the power he possesses. And this looks like the Air Force pose, like he's about to strike with Air Force. So if he puts like 100% into an Air Force, because otherwise 10% like normal wouldn't work on Shigaraki. So he'd have to be using 100% plus something else. What if Black Whip combined with Faijin, combined with Air Force, 200% Air Force? That would be a cool... That's like a tornado. Whew. That'd be cool. Okay, so I can't read Japanese, although I actually am learning. But I can't read what this says. I believe it says October... I see a 29 down here, and it says 5:30. So October 29th, I think, is when this season will be coming out. Maybe October 30 or October 28th, depending on where you are in the world. I'm not sure. But, yeah. Man, that was cool. So, there you have it. That's my reaction for the My Hero Academia final season trailer. It was epic in every single way. I loved it. I'll probably watch it again a few times now. Now, I have some other reactions on my channel. I've actually started One Piece. That episode comes out in a few days, and I'm watching it from the very end. So, I kid you not, I've skipped 1,100 episodes of One Piece, and I'm starting at the end. I've read some of the manga. I'm not close to being up to date by far, and I've never watched the anime, and I'm starting at the end with the Egghead arc. So wish me luck, it's confusing. That comes out in a few days. I've got my My Hero Academia Vigilantes reaction out now. I've got Attack on Titan with my anime hating friend. I'm trying to convert him. I'm not having much success, but I'm kind of working at it. And then I've got some other things for One Punch Man, Daredevil even, and Blue Box comes out soon on my channel. So there'll be some Blue Box reactions there for a guy who really does not like romance anime. I'm reacting to a romance anime, so it's very cringy and difficult for me, and I have to pause a lot of the time due to secondhand embarrassment. So if you want to see me in pain, you can check that out in a few days when it comes out. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for the reaction today. Thanks guys, and I'll see you later.